Welcome to a sort of episode of Take Good Care podcast, an endeavor of Peachtree City Obstetrics and Gynecology. I'm Dr. Miranda Williams.
I'm Dr. Deanna Guthrie.
And I'm Dr. Karen Green.
We are so happy right now. We're trying to contain our excitement because we're actually in our studio. It's been exactly a year since we had to take our podcast on the road, so to speak, because we all had to scramble to remote locations and filming and recording because of COVID. And we continued to produce our show, utilizing technology, learning and growing about how to do certain things, lighting, sound, and all of that. But we knew we wanted to eventually get back into one space. And so we created a studio in our office setting. And so now we are appropriately still physically distanced, but in the same room. And so we were excited about that. Because of that, we'll be able to increase the content that we can provide to our audience to include video as well as audio. So Dr. Green, how do you feel being in our studio space?
Well, I'm excited too. Other than being a little chilly, it's really nice in here. It really is. And it's funny, last night looking at our first attempts at doing everything remotely, I knew it had been a year, but that kind of hit home that, wow, we've been hoping to get back in the studio for a year now. And the fact that the new year was like, okay, we're actually going to do this. I'm glad April's finally here because it really seemed really far away in January when the year started. I also thought we'd be a little further past COVID at this point because I found that last year we talked a lot about that because it was a major part in our lives and still is. So we're socially distanced in our studio, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we've all been vaccinated, so it's kind of nice. But, it's something we still have to deal with, but it's nice in here. It's our space, and I like that.
Dr. Guthrie?
I love it. It's beautiful, comfortable. When I think about our first podcast that had video, we did one, and then everything hit. We were kind of in the middle of this open space, trying to drape, things around us to make it look like we were in a studio. So this is definitely an improvement. Sounds so much better. So now I'm very excited to see what the new season will bring.
So what we are hoping to do, we each have our own little corner in our studio space because we're trying to stay physically distanced. So each of us will be able to bring in little mementos or reminders, things that may express either parts of our personality or things that may be important to us or that just may make you smile and feel comfortable as we have our conversations with each other and with our audience. We've been working on this physical space transformation for the last 90 days, a little over 90 days. So we have great support, great team. Our staff is already wanting to know when is the first episode going to be up so they can see it. So this has been a long time coming, as Dr. Green said. So some of what I hope that we can do, and I'm going to ask Dr. Guthrie to speak to this next because she was filling out an application for something. And as she was completing her personal statement, she talked about our podcast and what the podcast she thought was doing. And I think last year, we were getting our feet wet. Initially, we thought our podcast would probably have more of a clinical focus, looking at medicine, looking at women's health issues, maybe lifestyle issues, wellness. But then COVID happened. And then right behind COVID, political unrest, and it was an election year. It was just kind of crazy. So we responded to that, and we pivoted and really looked at what was happening around us and talked about that. We still hit some of the health issues and concerns, and we still hope to do that this year, talking about our practice, what we provide medically, clinically. But I really am gratified that we were able to express ourselves about what was happening in our world and in our communities, not just be one-dimensional and talk about medicine. And I think that's a true reflection of who we are as individuals and what we stress with our staff as well as with our patients, which is, as women, we understand we're always juggling. It's never just one thing. It's never, just two things. It's multiple things coming at you all at once. I don't know, Dr. Guthrie, do you remember that statement? Do you remember what you put?
I pulled it up, actually. I was trying to, when you put me on the spot a while ago, I was like, what did I say? I just made the statement that, we have a podcast that we put out, and my statement was, we hope that it serves as a source of vital information and discussion for women of all ages, races, and walks in life. Mm-hmm. So that was my statement.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I think that's what we did. I think that's exactly what we did, and I think what we hope to continue to do, even more so.